What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Simba Sports Hub, where we talk all things Washington Commanders football. And this one is going to be a packed one today, y'all. So we got a lot to discuss. A lot went on today from the Washington Commanders trades, potential trades, us backing out of trades. So roster updates. The first unofficial release of the depth chart. So we're going to discuss all that and also training camp review. You know what I'm saying? I think today was training camp day 10. So without further notice, man, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is all Washington Commanders talk. So whatever y'all want to talk about, we're going to talk about it, or we can debate it in the comments. Or, you know what I'm saying, we can definitely shoot up a live and we can bring everybody in, those that want to debate, have just a real, aggressive or non-aggressive, what I'm saying, debate as Washington Commanders fan, because again, we all have difference of opinions, but hey man, I don't shoot away from no wreck. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about whatever over here. But yeah, let's get started right into it, man. We gonna start off with the roster cuts, or the roster updates that we heard today. We signed a center slash guard, JC. We waived Alex, a tackle Alex Akibula, with an injury destination. And we lost one of our tight ends, one of the tight ends that I thought was going on, that I was rooting for making the roster. Had some real upside last year before the injuries, tearing his Achilles. But yes, we released Amani Rogers today, y'all. So Rogers is out right now, so we got to look at the rest of the unofficial depth chart, and I think that's what we're gonna start off with first, and then we'll get into like the training camp news and what we think. So we about to go through the roster. The Commanders released first 2024 unofficial depth chart roster. And let's go straight into it, y'all. Let's see what we got. Let's see what they, we already know Terry McLaurin is going to be the number one receiver, so we ain't gonna go to that. Second, they got behind him is De'Ami Brown. Again, we've been hearing, some ramblings that he's been showing out this training camp. So we'll definitely see him in the rotation as receivers this year. Left tackle Brandon Coleman, rookie. I talked about him in the last video, and again, like I said, man, it is a very rare. And again, he got to prove himself. All the rookies that we drafted this year, I am not signing off on. I think they all have upside. I think that about every drafted player that comes to the Commanders. I'm just a positive guy for people that we bring in. Now we know everybody's not going to pan out. That's just the reality of it. You hit and miss in the draft. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get a hidden gem. I mean, but hey, every draft has it. Sometimes more teams hit on hidden gems than not. More so teams find, franchise guys. So again, we will see, I like Brandon Coleman's upside. I like his physical attributes. What he brings from a Swiss Army knife, he can move all throughout the line. I think except for center is the only thing he hasn't played in his college career. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do. We also, he's going to get a big test this week going up against the New York Jets. So this is preseason week for us. This is game week for us. So I'm excited to see, what we do from a practice perspective. And what I think I heard is that we only got one joint practice with the Jets. And then the rest is, we're practicing by ourselves into the actual preseason game, which I'm excited for. I mean, I think it's a good test for us to see how we match up with this new team. It's a lot of new people that we got on the roster. I think it's 13 new starters from last year's roster to this year's roster. So I'm excited to see how we do against another elite defense, and also against the offense. They got one of the top 5, if not top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and Aaron Rodgers. He's back healthy. And excuse me, y'all, I got a little my daughter gave me her cold, so I'm trying to get over that, or try to minimize it as much as possible. So my apologies. But we're gonna try to fight through it. Left guard that we signed in free agency, Nick Allegretti. Excited to see him play. we've had a lot of plug and play linemen throughout the years, and I know this is not the Ron Rivera, team no more. So we got to have a new faith in the guys that we bring in. But him being a backup to the starting left guard at Kansas City, we actually giving him a shot to actually be a starter. But you go look at Kansas City, beat writers, they had nothing but good things to say about Nick. So hopefully he can come in and he can be our starting left guard, so we'll see. Our center, I think we all kind of knew this. Tyler Biadasz from the Cowboys had a good season with Dallas last year, so we brought him over with Dan Quinn and Bobby Witt Jr. So I'm excited to see him play. I think that's what we really struggled at last year, from our left guard to our center. We just didn't, man. We couldn't, man. We got killed up the middle, man. Between that guard, that left guard, the center play, man. That's where a lot of the defensive line. I mean, yes, it was some outside pressure too, but a lot of the pressure that Sam Howell saw was straight up the middle, and you don't ever want to see that. Even from a run perspective, you want to see guys get off the ball and get a push on the D line, and we didn't do that last year. So hopefully these two guys can come in and be exceptional players for us, but we'll see. All right, we got right guard Sam Cosmi. We knew he was a shoe-in. Looked for him to get a big payday coming up soon. I think that was a good move from Ron, and I know we hate a lot on Ron and the things that he did, but I think that was one of the good moves that he made while he was here, was moving Cosmi, who we drafted as a right tackle out of Texas, I believe, and then moved him into right guard. And he's excelled at this role, so hope to see big things from him this season as well. And he's physical. He don't mind being physical. He likes the interior bump that he's getting in there, so I like to hear that from our guards. Or any of our O-line. Right tackle, we know we got Andrew Wiley there. I know he's been hurt. I'm not sure if we'll see him in the preseason game against the Jets, but Trent Scott, who I've been hearing good things about during this training camp, should do an exceptional job there. Of course, Zach Ertz, man, bringing him over from the Cardinals, big guy that we brought in with Cliff Kingsbury. He knows the offense. He knows how the offense should be ran. He's pretty much going to get some of these other guys, spun up, some of these other tight ends. It's going to be a great, check down and a big target for JDaniels and Marcus Mariota. We'll get into, the number one QB that was announced today. John Bates is surprising the number 2 tight end, man. That's big because, again, I'm not a huge John Bates fan. I think he's an exceptional run blocker. But, again, last year just super inconsistent with catches that we needed, like big third downs, or second downs that we can, shorten up the field for us to, making a manageable third down. He just didn't come through with those catches. So, I mean, a lot of people has been speaking good about him from a blocking aspect. He just got to capitalize and be consistent from a catching perspective. So, Ben Sinnott is the third tight end on the depth chart. And, again, this is all unofficial. This is pretty much, I think, how we're going to see the battle go, from here on out, throughout the preseason and the rest of training camp. This is how we're going to see how guys fight. They actually seeing their names on a roster spot and where they line up, where they see themselves at. Cole Turner, again, I'm a big Cole Turner fan, man. I just, man, you can't teach height and size, man. 6'7", 6'8". You can't tell me that you can't find something for this guy to do in our offense, man. He's shown, again, he had a nice diving catch, the training camp that I went to. It's just a big frame, man. You gotta find a way to use him. But again, the other two guys, I think Ben Sinnott also can be used as a Swiss Army knife. He can line up at fullback. He can play tight end. He can line up out in the in the slot. And not saying Cole Turner can't do that, but I guess these guys is who they been impressed with the most. All right, so wide receiver, we got Zacchaeus. Look like he's starting in the slot. Luke McCaffrey is behind him. Exciting to see how these two guys play from a slot perspective. And I think in Cliff Kingsbury, I think he's going to be moving guys around. You're not just going to see Terry line up at the X or the Y. He's going to be lining up in some slot plays, seeing him in the backfield. You're going to see him, and that's what I'm excited about, but I'm still have a question mark to see how he utilized our receivers, because we don't have the size at the receiver. Like, we ain't got no 6'2", 6'3" guys, big frame guys that's going to go get jump balls. And that's saying that our guys that we do have can't do it. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that we got smaller frame guys that you can enter work from to X to the Z, into the Y positions, and that you don't have to just pinpoint one player or pitch and hold one player to one receiver position. You know what I'm saying? So Jahan Dotson, of course, is our number 2 receiver. Jamison Crowder behind him. Mitch Tinsley out of Penn State. I think they really like him. I'm not sure about the new regime, but the last regime really liked him. And my guy, Marcus Rosemi Jack Saint, is currently in the 4th spot. I'm not sure how many receivers we want to keep. I think it's probably going to be around 6. 5 or 6, maybe 7, maybe on the active roster, but 6 or maybe on the active roster, and we want to have some guys on the what is that called? I'm drawing a blank, but y'all know the reserve squad, so they'll be there. All right, now let's get to the talk of the town where everybody is excited about seeing Dan Quinn today in his presser before training camp, before practice started, named JDaniels the number 1 guy going into this first preseason game. So he is our unofficial starting QB. And again, I'm excited to see him play. I know he's excited to play. He has that hey man, I'm not there yet, but I want to prove to everybody that I can compete in this league. So with a number 2 draft pick, again, I'm not crowning him, but I am behind him as a QB, and that I just hope that we stand behind him as a fan base, as a team, that we sit behind him and we ride with him, good, bad, and ugly. And going into this preseason game, I want him to try things. I want him to try things that he's probably wouldn't do in a regular game, but I want him to try it just to see what he can do as a rookie, because this is a different level. This ain't college. This is NFL now. This is where the big boys play at. So try stuff. This is where you know what I'm saying, you practice and do things that you probably wouldn't normally do in a regular season game. So I'm excited to see him play. Again, I want him to be safe, protect himself, protect that ball. But I'm not going to judge him. I'm not going to overly judge him if he has a good game or has a bad game. I'm not going to put too much into it. Running back number 1, I believe it's Brian Robinson Jr., and then we got Austin Eckler. Again, those guys are going to be interchangeable. You're going to see both of these guys play. You're probably going to see these guys lined up in the backfield together, or one lined up out wide. And I think Cliff is going to utilize both of them in the pass and the run game. And it's going to take a lot of pressure off of JDaniels too. All right, so we're going to move into the defense. Let's see what we got. DN, they got Pharrell starting at DN. We already know the shoe-ins for Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen. But KJ Henry comes in at second backing up Pharrell. I like KJ Henry out of Clemson. I think he has the upside to be great. And I think in this defense is going to be a lot of emphasis on getting off the ball and just try to get to the quarterback. So not a lot of zone schemes and, containment. Of course, they are going to try to do that, but I think it's going to be less emphasis on that, and it's going to be strictly, hey, man, go get the quarterback by any means. Behind Deron Payne, they got Johnny Ridgeway. I like Ridgeway a lot. He's made some plays that you wouldn't think that, he shouldn't be making, but he's definitely stepped in when Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen comes out the game and made some good run stops. He actually even got some sacks, too, that was actually, commendable from a D tackle. For Darius Mathis, he's number 3. Again, this is I like his size, but again, he got to just show that he can, have a pass rush and not just a run stopper. But I'm fine with him being a run stopper, too. Johnny Newton is backing up Jonathan Allen, and I think you'll just see those two guys rotate. Dorrance Armstrong, who we brought in from Dallas, we kind of knew that he was going to be a shoe-in at the DN. I think Dan Quinn and Bobby Witt, they really liked his game, and he can still line up on the inside. And I think you're going to see a lot of 5 technique, 5 down linemen. You're going to see Jonathan Allen line up outside sometime, and Johnny Newton plug in for him. So, hey, man, I don't know the definitive scheme set that we're running, but I'm excited. We got outside linebacker Dante Fowler, Jamin Davis backing him up. I haven't heard a lot about Dante Fowler, but I think he's just a pass rusher and specialty pass rusher that's going to come in third downs and try to get that speed rush and make plays on a quarterback. Jamin Davis is backing him up. Of course, we got Bobby Wagner in the middle. Jordan McGee coming in at number 2. I heard a lot of people speak about him, his size, man, his physique, and just his ability to be a sponge behind Bobby Wagner. So God forbid any major injuries happen to our starters. I'm fine with McGee backing him up. Frankie Louvu outside, of course. Anthony Pittman. Haven't heard much about him and Mikael Walker, but hey, these are veteran guys that's going to come in and be able to help us out. Again, depth. We have depth on this team. I think last year it was just hard to, when other guys went down to you like, man, what are we getting? Who is the next guy coming in? And are they going to be able to, replace what we had at that starting role, even though we didn't play good at all? But anywho, I think Mike Sanders still has locked in the nickel spot, man. A lot of people, Bobby Witt called him a star. He doesn't walk around like he's a rookie, so that's good to hear that, and again, he's come from a program in Michigan where he had NFL coaching, over there with Harbaugh, so he knows how to conduct himself and prepare himself as an NFL player. I think that's how Harbaugh really coaches his players at Michigan when he was at Michigan down with the Chargers. But I think we're going to see some big things from him. And he's also been playing some outside too. Like I mentioned that in the last video that I posted. Again, Benjamin St. Juste is our other starter. This is the big thing here, man. Michael Davis and Benjamin St. Juste are our unofficial starting cornerbacks. But like Dan Quinn said in his presser today that, just because the unofficial says one name or the other, all four guys have been, working in with one, as the ones throughout this training camp. So you've been seeing Castro Fields start over, Benjamin St. Juste or Michael Davis. Emmanuel Forbes going in. It's been Emmanuel Forbes, Benjamin St. Juste, and Forbes and Michael Davis. But I think they like out of all four of these guys, this is something that we didn't have last year. I mean, we had it last year because we had Benjamin St. Juste and Forbes, but we added more length. Michael Davis Jr., I think he's 6'1", 6'2". Castro's Field, who didn't get much playing time last year. I don't know if it was because of injury or just, him not showing enough to get time. He got playing time towards the end of the season, but, I like him out of Penn State, 6'2", 6'3". We got four guys that we can plug in, God forbid, again, any injuries happen. We got guys that we can plug in and play that role no matter what. Strong safety Jeremy Chin, and backing him up is Derek Forrest. I kind of wanted to see Derek Forrest start. He got that dog mentality in him, man. He ain't afraid to hit nobody. I did question his deep coverage, his deep over-the-top coverage a little bit last year before he got hurt. But I do see him as a more in-box safety hybrid. But he likes being around the football. He likes physicality too. So I like him backing him up. Again, depth. Dominique Hampton. I kind of see him more as a free safety. Not sure, I think he's more of an over-top rangy guy. Not saying that he ain't physical, not that he can't hit. I just, watching his film out of college with Washington, I didn't see him, being not physical, but he just didn't give me that physical type of corner. He looks like he's more over the top, and he's going to play sideline to sideline, and he'll hit you. He'll come over that, he'll come on that deep route, and he'll hit you. But I see him as taking the ball out the air versus, hitting guys. Quan Martin, who is a surprise move to free safety this year. I think they like him at the nickel last year, and sometimes he did play last year over. He did play that free safety role. So I like him being the starting free safety. I'm real big on Percy Butler, man. I just think that dude got the speed and the range to play over the top. But again, the coaching was bad last year to see if he could, really take over that free safety role. Of course, Jeremy Reeves is who's going to be a backup. You're going to see him a lot on special teams this year. A lot of these guys, Dominique Hampton, Tyler Owens, who's I've been hearing big things about. I spoke about him on the last video that we reported. And that's about it, man. We got the special teams. Tress Way, of course, is the punter for us. And we still got this kicker battle going on. Right now, that punt returner and kick returner, not heard much about Noah, but again, this is all unofficial. Jamison Crowder right now leading the punt return. I think if he makes the team, that's his role. That's going to be where he shines at. And, of course, God forbid any injuries, him being a plug-in. I think that's a good veteran to have on reserves to step in if, God forbid, any of our other guys go down. Again, like I said, man, all of these guys that's second, third, you're going to see some on special teams, and that's where you got to make your name at. Javante John Baptiste, again, he's backing up Armstrong. That's good. That's good for him. He's going to get some bump at DN, this year. And I think he's a big athletic guy, too, that can get to the quarterback. But again, he just got to, continue to develop, his game in an NFL way. All right. So, again, like I said, man, these are guys that's third string, fourth strings. This upcoming week, practice, this is where you start. And even at the beginning of the training camp, you're supposed to start day one to get film to show either the team that you're currently on or a team that may be looking to pick up some guys, that, hey, I can play in this league too. I just need to be given a chance. So you want to come out, man. I hope we come out and play physical football. The one saying I heard Fred Smoot say, man, defense wins championships and offense sells tickets. I'm a defensive minded guy when it comes to watching football. And I love the physicality of being a defender or playing of the defense side of the football. So again, hopefully these guys come out and try to make a name for themselves, either make the team or make somebody else's team. All right, so let's go ahead and transition into training camp day 10. From my understanding and what I saw and viewed, Joe Gibbs, Hall of Famer, in two sports, NASCAR and in the NFL. A Super Bowl winning champion. Head coach came to visit today. One of his top cornerbacks that came and played for him, Darrell Green, showed up today. I hope he spent some time with Emmanuel Forbes. I hope he's willing to work with Emmanuel Forbes because again, I like Emmanuel Forbes. I like what he was bringing out of Mississippi State. I like his way to find the ball. But again, you got to work on your technique. You got to get a little bit bigger in the NFL. I'm not holding that A.J. Brown game. Again, A.J. Brown cooked everybody. He didn't just cook Emmanuel Forbes. He cooked majority of the league, if you want to be honest about it. So, yeah, he got cooked twice in one season, but that's because we had to play him twice. But anywho, I like his upside. That's a young guy, and I know that I hope he wasn't going into it thinking that he was going to be just given the number one spot. And again, this is unofficial. He could still very well become the number one guy. But again, he's not a Dan Quinn guy. He's not a Bobby Witt guy. He's a Ron Rivera guy. And again, you gotta earn your spot. Even JDaniels got to earn his spot, and I think he has, and that's why he was, named the unofficial number one. But yeah, let's get into day 10, man. Again, we spoke about some of the roster moves. Let's see. First players on the field. I don't even know any more camp. First commander to the field. Drum roll. Finish. JDaniels first out the door, but I believe Bryson. And I heard some things about, that's the biggest receiver we got, 6'4". I think that's the biggest receiver we got out there. Touch the grass. Okay, we used to that. I guess this is them talking about. Again, they're doing the field over at the Commanders training facility. I think they're adding new turf, I believe. Again, here go Joe Gibbs signing autographs. Talking with the fans. Him and Darrell Green. There's a lot of Joe Gibbs stuff today. Let's see. QB1. Let's check this clip out. Him warming up, getting some throws in. Little simulated pass rush for JDaniels. All right, that's what Brandon Coleman, other O-line not practicing, doesn't have a helmet at practice today. And again, let's not read too much into it, guys. These guys have been going on it for the last 3 to 4 weeks. You got to give guys some time for their bodies to, recuperate. Again, we're going into preseason week. We're going into game week. You want guys to be fresh. So if you got to hold a couple guys out, I'm okay with it. I haven't heard anything like dangerous that happened to him. So Sam Cosmi missed second practice while dealing with illness. I think he probably passed on his cold to me. Say, no, it was my daughter. I'm just joking. Hopefully he gets better. He's back out there, and hopefully he can get some work in the preseason. This is Dan Quinn. Hey, man, you love to see this from your head coach. If you're not willing to get in the trenches and do some work, I don't want you as my head coach. I like to see stuff like this. Rushing the passer. He should have hit him. It's like, no, I'm joking. JDaniels to De'Ami Brown. Let's see. It's just them doing some isolated passing. Let's see. Man, look at that. That's a beautiful ball, man. Drop it, and hey, that's a beautiful pass, Jaden. I like to see that, man. All right. This is the catch of the day that I heard out of training camp. Zach Ertz over Jeremy Reeves. I think it was a one-handed catch from JDaniels. Can't wait to see that on Sundays, fellas. Hey, man. I don't know about y'all, but I can't wait to see that on Sundays. I hope we can see that, and that's not an interception. But Moss alert, one-handed catch over Reeves. JDaniels to Bryson Tremaine. Very next play, Jaden deep ball to Brighton over Mike Davis. Really good catch. He's a guy to watch in the preseason. Again, Bryce Tremaine, this is how you make a name for yourself at practice and in the preseason. And when you go against the Jets, hey, man, they got some fierce corners over there, man. If you get a rep, hey, man, show out. Show out. That's how you make a name for yourself. Practice for Commanders over, but both kickers made 4 for 5 to end. Didn't think Jaden was overly sharp, but not bad. Trent Scott clearly had a few times. And again, even though me seeing Jaden not overly sharp, not having a great day as people will probably want to put out there, I'm fine with that because you're going to have up and downs. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. It's all about not having consistent bad days. In the last 3 practices before this one, nothing but great things from Jaden. So, yeah, we'll let that go. Daryl Green and Joe Gibbs out to practice. Let's check this out real quick. Look at Joe, baby. What's good, baby? He had a relapse.
We appreciate just getting a chance to be here. I just wanted to say real quick that you guys, I hope you realize how fortunate you are.
I see what he said. Sorry, I fast forwarded a little bit, y'all. I think I already seen this, so.
This is a great moment. You guys can start something off that's special. I truly believe this ownership, the way you flipped it, and done what he's doing.
Hey, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I think that was all that was said. Them breaking practice or talking after practice. Terry McLaurin getting some after practice work. Love to see it. As long as your body is up to it, hey, go out there and get that work in, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Dan Quinn confirmed JDaniels will start in the Commanders preseason opener. He's earned that right, and Cliff Kingsbury couldn't agree more. Again, like I say, guys, I like to watch a lot of, when the coaches are up on the podium. Again, like I said, my dad is a coach, so just listening to the toolages and how they talk from a coach's perspective is I like to pick up on a lot of things that they talk about. So that's my little spiel. That's what I like to do. But again, all right, now let's get into this news right here. Late last night, it broke that the Washington Commanders are no longer pursuing Brandon Aiyuk. And here's my take on Brandon Aiyuk. I think if I am right about this, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, right or wrong about this. Don't get me wrong. Adding another top receiver to the team, tremendous. Yes. But I am with Adam Peters. And let's remember this. Adam Peters was a part of drafting Brandon Aiyuk in the first round with the 49ers. So he knows what he's getting out of him. So I don't think that's a question. But I think what Adam Peters has shown us is that he's not willing to overspend in free agency on guys because we're still trying to build this team. We're not championship. And again, I'm not saying that we can't. We can very well shock the world this year and maybe make a Super Bowl run or make a playoff, let alone make the playoffs. But again, I don't think that's going to happen. So again, I don't think he's willing to overspend. And this is why I say that. What you would get out of Brandon Aiyuk from San Francisco, I think we already have on this team. Yes, it's good to have 2, but why have 2 when they're still and yes, we do have the money. I think we can pay him and all of that. And I think he is going to be a great piece because he has that chemistry already built with JDaniels. I have no issues with none of that. I just simply think in the guys that we have already, we already have one guy that is the go-to guy right now on our team, and that's Terry McLaurin. I think those 2 receivers are neck and neck from who, and again, I know a lot of fans, I can't, no, Terry is far better than him. Okay, yes, you can say that he has more, but he's also on a team where he's the number one receiver at too. So, but we're not even gonna get into that, right? But this is what I will say, man, is that I think I like the way that Adam Peters is going about not overspending and over, reaching for players this offseason. And also with not getting Aiyuk. I am fine with the receivers we got. So I think we have our number one receiver in Terry. And I think Jahan Dotson, if he can show us what he did his rookie season this year, if he's able to bounce back after a sophomore slump year, again, and again, we got Zacchaeus, we got Pringle, we got Jamison Crowder, Luke McCaffrey. We got guys that, we just got to see them put it out on the field. Again, I'm fine with the team that we got right now. I'm fine with the guys that we got on the roster right now. So again, I'm good. Again, this is preseason week, game week for us. Let's go and dominate. Let's go up and let's be mindful. I know Dan Quinn is talking, and I hope the Jets head coach and the team. I already heard that they didn't have two fights amongst themselves. Man, let's go out here and it's not about fighting. It's about getting better and iron sharpening iron. You know what I'm saying? And going against some of the best talent out there for the Jets, offense and defense. I hope we have a good practice. Hope we don't hear no BS. But hey, man, it's it's a jungle out there, man. It's about, if it happens, it happens. I hope nobody gets hurt through after it. No major injuries or anything comes out of it. I hope we can sharpen ourselves and see how we really match up. And I'm excited. I'm excited for week 1 of preseason, baby. So with that being said, hey, man, again, like, subscribe, and hit that follow button, man. Hit that like button and comment. And let's hey, look, man. Hail to the Commanders, baby. Let's go. Catch y'all on the next one.